sort of shift. It moves like the ideas that you created move to a second person, and the ones that they created move to a third person, and then you look at their ideas and you see what that sparks in you, and you do another round of it, and then they shift again and you do another round of it. All happening not in real time, all can happen over days, and yet another way of doing this same kind of thing. Okay, so thanks, Doug, for the introduction. This is actually pulled right out of an IBM application called Blue Pages, which is our expert finder. There's a whole lot more information that shows up down there below, and part of it is it has tag clouds. And I don't know if people know what tag clouds are, but they're tags that other people, this is a social tag cloud, so other people have assigned those words to say, I know that Swan does that kind of work, or somebody just put my nickname here. You can put any kind of tag you want on there, so it ends up kind of being a representation of the types of things that you're interested in. The more people write the word, the more it'll show up. Exactly. So it's a very visual representation. Okay, so I only have 10 minutes, so there's not a whole lot we can touch on in 10 minutes, but I will try to hit a couple of high points about KM in K-12 education. And two of the major forces that are impacting KM in education are politics and technology. And the politics are sort of No Child Left Behind, which is all about making sure that we're testing all the students to make sure that they're at a certain proficiency and a certain level. And what that does is it creates an environment where passing the test is the most important factor. And so there are then assessments which assess how well you're going to do on the eventual test, which is called a high stakes test. So you have periodic tests, and people are testing are sort of teaching to make sure that their kids do well on the periodic tests. So there's this sense of a whole lot of sense of data that's involved, and that's impacting the way education K-12 is handled. And then obviously technology is advancing, and we can take advantage of some of those tools. So management's response initially when they're faced with how do I need to get my school or my district up 2 points on this test. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to put assert control. I'm going to say everybody has to teach it this way because I know that's effective, and sort of assert my way on the way education should go. Over time, though, as there's more access to data and more visibility into what's going on, there starts to be a move to actually empower those schools, to actually give them some independence. As long as there's a tracking, as long as we can see how they're doing, there's an empowerment. And then the step beyond that is, once they're empowered, then helping them share so that the ones that are stronger can help the ones that are weaker. So how does KM support empowerment? Obviously, some of the business intelligence type stuff, being able to look for patterns in the data, and being able to replicate success at any level. So a teacher reaching out to another teacher, principals reaching out to each other, network administrators for a whole set of schools reaching out to each other, can happen on various levels. So the client that I'm working at right now is the New York City Department of Education, and we just started in January a $68 million project, which is about half about data and centralizing their data stores and being able to report and analyze that data, and about half on knowledge management, saying, well, okay, great, we're looking at that data, what are we going to do about it? And so that's where the innovation part, so it's achievement reporting and innovation system. And so it has a whole section of content management and a whole lot of professional collaboration. And the idea is that we can go from data-driven and try to move people up to expertise-driven, where people are helping each other to solve problems. The data is probably calling out those problems, but the expertise now is experts are helping them solve it, and eventually anybody is helping you solve a problem. And so very social network oriented. So some of the key features of it is that every educator will have access. 90,000 educators in New York City, 1,400 schools. Every educator will have access to every content item, so that there's none of this. Well, this is going to be very different, obviously, in the federal space, but in education, it can be very open, and that's very important for knowledge management.
What is a content item?
Content item can be any kind of thing: a lesson plan, an intervention plan, any kind of instructional resource, a rubric for how to test a certain skill in the classroom. And a special content item that we have is called a SONO, which stands for So What, Now What. And what we use it as, well, actually I have another slide, I'll talk a little bit more. And then Web 2.0 style collaboration with blogs and things like that, which I'll talk a little bit more about. And for some reason that showed up twice. So I just wanted to kind of give you a screenshot. This hasn't been built yet. We just started a month and a half ago. But this is a mock-up of some of the data that might show up for a class. So you would have a class of students here, and you can see how there are data points showing up that would help people. And here, if you clicked on a student, how you'd get a whole profile of information about what's going on with that student at a certain point in time. And you'll also get a dashboard. So each person will have, it's a role-based portal, which will mean I'm a teacher, it knows I'm a teacher, and it will bring me the right things. And again, this doesn't exist, just a mock-up. But it will be pulling stuff out of a knowledge base to show various different types of content items that are relevant to me. I can put in my own keyword tags, and it will be pulling those out, anything new that's created that matches with the tags that I'm interested in. And also announcements and data alerts and things like that are showing up there. So here's an example of the So What, Now What. I'm looking at a report, and it's showing me that some kid in my class was, we projected they were going to go like this, and then something happened over here that they fell off, and somebody has written a So What, a SONO that the system has determined matches with this particular problem and presents it to the user, and now gets them into the world of content, away from data and into the world of content of what to do about it. And you can now click on that person and see what else they've written. You can click on the SONO itself and get a bigger view of it and see who's commented on that. Other teachers have used that technique, and you're into the world of knowledge and away from the world of data.